Alright guys, what's up? Charles from Champions of Game Time, or COG, coming at you with my Stellarknight deck profile. So, this weekend, we had a locals, and at the locals, we all decided to take our fun decks and everything like that, except for kind of 2 people, but that's okay. So, I decided to take Stellarknights. My teammate Caleb had sent me a deck list of a deck that topped in the OCG, so I took some inspiration from that and decided to put my own twists and stuff on it. But, we'll just go ahead and jump into it, and I'll explain things on the way. So, 3 Deneb, 3 Altair, 3 Unicali, and then double Vega. If you don't know what Stellarknights do, I'll give you a quick rough up. Unicali dumps from deck to grave, Altair revives from grave to field, and Deneb allows you to search from deck to hand, and Vega allows you to summon from special summon from the hand, and they all get their effects on summon, so they don't really miss timing. I didn't want to play 3 Vega because Vega cannot summon Vega, and I didn't want to clog with multiple Vegas in hand. Vega, however, is good, but he allows you to make a first turn Triver, and you can make Triver first turn, rip a card from your opponent's hand, letting you float and stuff like that. Or you can make Deltros and just pretty much hope Deltros gets destroyed and float from the deck, whichever Tellarknight you need. But only about 11 Tellarknights, and it did what it needs to do. You'll see in our... If we ever get Caleb's and I's, we played in the tournament, he played Gravekeepers. Once we get that up, you'll see the video shows both decks doing what they're supposed to do, which is a very good deck profile is coming up for Caleb as well, and it's both going to be pretty awesome, I guess. So, without further ado, let's just continue on. We'll just go ahead and go with 3 Ash Blossoms. I'm not playing the Demise build as the Tellarknights because I want to try, in this meta, you need hand traps in order to, I guess, win, is a sense to say. And I wanted to, and also, the hand traps I play are also, they're pretty much first turn traps, in a sense, to where they can be activated from your hand. You don't have to set them or anything, which is one of the things that Stellarknights needs to do. They're a turn 2 deck where they need their turn 1 to just get set up, and turn 2 they can follow through with plays. But for the other hand traps, 2 Valor, and a Maxi. Maxi is self-explanatory. The one lucky of, it can blow out getting it just by pure luckily drawing it or having it. Effect Valor. I got Effect Valor because I saw that over Ogre, because sometimes negating the effect was more important than destroying the monster. And I tested with it, and Effect Valor throughout the day was phenomenal. I got Effect Valor like 3 times, and I used it at least twice, so it was a pretty good hand trap, I'll have to say. So that's it for the monsters, and we'll go on to the spells. The spells are 3 Scapegoats. Scapegoats is what makes this deck pretty cool. It allows you to link crazily. It allows you to get further into combos. It allows you to get out of just the XYZ ranked toolbox and go into some crazy link plays and then link combos with Triver and Deltros. The theory behind Scapegoats in this deck is it's similar to Trickstars in a sense, besides the burn and everything. You normally just summon 1 monster, so you normally just summon a Deneb, or some cases a Unicali. So worst case, you just summon them, and you set 4 past turn. So then you have room for Scapegoats, which allows you, for your following turn, to bait out any hand traps, any strikes, any negation, well, with linking, so then you can get your Tellarknight effects off for sure. But it's definitely a good card. If it gets put down to 2, I'll still play it. But at 3, you wanted to see it as much as possible so you could get through and do some aggressive plays. But onward, 2 Desires. Desires was good. You played multiple 3 of, so it was alright. The only one you don't play 3 of is not Deneb, Vega. So, but Vega's also searchable through Deneb or Rhoda, and in my luck, you'll open Vega almost all the time. But I played 2 because I didn't want to see a 3rd, and I didn't want to draw into it. However, I came to a problem to where I wanted to see Desires, because that instant +1 that could possibly be an Alpha Nova, Call of the Haunted Fiendish Chain, a hand trap, it actually was kind of worth it. And I just didn't see it enough, so I might bump it up to 3 in the future. But 1 Skybridge. Skybridge is awesome. It allows you to dodge effects that target, and it allows you, if you get bricky hands with like Vega or Altair, it allows you to tag out into your more useful, like Unicali or Deneb. And there's some pretty crazy combos you can do with Unicali and then Skybridge into Altair. It lets you make your first turn rank 4, first turn Baguska, first turn Triver, first turn Deltros. Tellarknight Genesis. This should have been a Skybridge, but I only had 1 Skybridge. I didn't pick it up at the tournament, forgot all about it. But it did what it needed to do. It popped some back row for me, but in reality, it would have been better as a Skybridge. 1 Reinforcements of the Army. self-explanatory. 1 Insta-Fusion. So Insta-Fusion at Link Rebo was allowed at our tournament. We were allowed to play it. We're allowed to test with it because because it's eventually going to become legal. We didn't really care. It was all right with us. So you just Insta-Fuse for your Thousand Eyes, restrict, and link it away. Pretty much. That's Insta-Fusion. Regeki and Dark Hole. Board wipes, so you can push for game or get rid of problematic monsters that you can't get over with. But that's pretty much it for the spells. On for the traps. You play 3 Stellarknight Alpha. Now, back in the day, this card was very scary. And even kind of when they started to phase out when Solemn Strike was released, this card was also scary because this set with a strike was just actually too good. Double negation and a draw too. It allows you to draw, and if you send away your Triver Deltros, they get a floating effect. So it's the counter trap for Stellarknights. It's a very dangerous and threatening card. So, and then onward to 3 Fiendish Chain. In theory, I'm not playing any strikes for a warning. In theory, these were just bounceable strikes. I didn't have room for strikes since I was going to give it a try and follow the OCG's build, and he wasn't playing strikes, so I was like, well, you know what, I'll try it. I'll tech in some stuff he wasn't playing and try it. So these were my techs, Fiendish Chain. 3 Call of the Haunted. You know, same thing with Fiendish Chain. It's bounceable through Triver, so you can recycle them and use them. You want to get your Stellarknight's effects off during your opponent's turn, during your turn, so you can just do amazing things during your turn. Triver, Deltros, and Link, etc. 2 Mirror Force. Mirror Force came in really clutch. I decided to use the normal one because a lot of things don't like being destroyed. We had a Goki player there, so these got sided out. Pretty self-explanatory. You need to, like I said earlier in the video, it's a turn 2 deck. It needs to get set up turn 1, so this allows you to protect your board going first. And then 1 Oasis is just another revival. Call the Haunted can call back your Link monsters. However, this cannot. This can only call back your Satellas or normal monsters, since Links cannot be put in defense. But that's it for the main deck. 40 cards. It might change in the future. I can't really guarantee it. But onto the extra deck. 2 Trevair. Trevair is your boss monster of the deck. He is phenomenal. He floats. He rips a card from hand. He bounces everything on the field. He's really good. He combo is actually pretty well off with Nigratsu. I'll have to show you the ability because with Triver and the ability to link in this deck, you're not always linking up in your extra monster zone. Or excuse me, you're not always linking up in your extra monster zone. You're sometimes linking down here or over here. You're not all the time up here, which leaves your extra monster zone up here available for Scapegoats plays. 2 Baltimus. He's the biggest Stellarknight we have. He's your 2-card Triver, technically. Detach, discard, and then XYZ on top of him, Deltros or a Triver. The card is very susceptible to Ghost Ogre, though. I've known in testing, when this gets Ghost Ogred, it's really bad. Like, it sucks. But what can you do? 1 Deltros. Deltros is really good. Sometimes if you open pretty bad, like I gotta say, like sometimes you open Vega Altair and you have no way to get anything out. But you can definitely make Baltimus. You can make Baltimus and make him first turn, and then when they get rid of him, he'll float from the deck out onto Neb, and the Neb will get you an Altair Search. And he also pops cards, so he's good. He protects also your cards from being... Any card you would summon, he protects them from being Bottomless Trap Hole, Torrential. It's 2014 is when this deck came out, so at the time, this was really good, but now it's kind of, it's not too... It's still good, but... 1 Baguska. It's a rank 4 deck, so you can still put out Baguska pretty easily. Onto the links. The 2 boss monsters of the second and third boss monster of the deck. Nigratsu allows you to just send cards. It's a warrior, so you can link into Akashic Magician. Borreload just is a bigger monster to go into Scapegoats when and push for game. Decode, in case once you plow through some of your resources, like sometimes this deck will grind and these guys are gone. He's kind of just there as a secondary push, sort of. Akashic is very cool because I just can't describe how good this card. This card was MVP of the day because it not only bounces a card your opponent controls, but it can bounce something back you want as well, which allows you to have resources for the next turn, or if you have just an Altair on the field that they didn't get rid of, bounce it back, normal it again. The combo that I was telling you about earlier with Nigratsu and Triver is Sometimes you'll summon Triver down here, and you'll scapegoat that turn, giving you 4, and then link into Neratsu, send a card. You can also send Triver, and Triver will float out from the graveyard to Altair Deneb, and you can also continue your plays. But normally, if you're able to make this, and you can link these two away, because it's a warrior and a warrior, you can link these two away for Koshik, and then Triver will float you out, Altair, Vega, and if you have one from hand, you can continue the plays and then bounce this back with Triver, and then your Triver is right down here. But it was really MVP. When we get the Noble Knight Link monster, I might just play a different one. I think I want to keep her, though. I might just jazz up the extra deck some more. 2 Link Spider. Link Spider is just a step up to your higher links in this deck. He's no special. You don't play normal monsters. 2 Proxies. Proxies were good in testing, and then at the tournament I realized that I only need 1 proxy. I need a Mrs. Radiant, because I'd link into this and then I'd be stuck with it because I cannot link anymore, and I'd be stuck with this in the extra deck zone, extra monster zone, which really sucked. But so one in the future videos, that'll be a Mrs. Radiant, or it might just be the Noble Knight. I don't know yet. Link Kribo, like I said, it was legal at a tournament. It's a very good card. It is a very good stepstone up. It's pretty much it's a better Link Spider for this deck, in all honesty, but what can I say? That's what you got to do. And then 1,000 Eyes Restrict. That's it for the deck profile. My extra deck, I'll just kind of rush through it real quick, just kind of give you a general idea of what was played. But extra deck is always up to personal preference. But 2 Book of Eclipse to stop links, stop XYZ, stop synchroing. 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance to stop Pendulum Magicians. 1 Alsum. Alsum you'll see in the Grave Tier matchup came in clutch. It was just in theory to burn on since I knew people were playing their secondary decks, I figured that'd be a pretty high grindy games, long and tedious, so this was just to burn them. 2 System Down in case we had ABC or Cosmo show up. Then I played 2 Scythe, 1 Morale-Tech, followed by 3 Sanctums. This engine came in clutch about all day because this engine was the MVP of the side deck. Being able to Scythe on your opponent's turn and then Triver, bounce back the Scythe, and then set the Scythe was alright. And then finally 2 Stormy Mirror Forces in case you played a deck that wanted their stuff to be destroyed. But that's it for the deck profile, guys. Please stay tuned for an update that'll eventually come. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned for future content and possible future giveaways. Without further ado, you guys have a happy new year and have a good rest of the day.